All right, good morning. Let's just start. We're going to do our toe tap today. I really want you to think about lifting those feet, working those muscles on the front of your leg. Good. 4, 3, heels up, right, then left, right, and left. Good, knees up right here. Just a good bicep curl, waking up the hips right on the front, and starting to work on a little bit of balance. 4, 3, 2. All right, hamstring curls right here. Heel curls, open and close the fingers. We want to get those hands warmed up as well. And don't forget about those thumbs. 4, 3, hip hinge right in the center, up and back. So nice and tall. We want to think about folding forwards at the crease in our hips. We have a broomstick from our head all the way down to our hips. Let's add in some arms, up and back. So we're staying tall, keeping our tail feather just a little bit tucked. 3, 2. All right, we're going to bring it back up. We're going to take the legs a little bit wider. Turn your toes out to the side, down and up. Just a little bit of a plie. We're going to take it down and up. Halfway is great. Overhead is okay too. Down and up. 4, 3, 2. All right, hold it down, hands on the thighs, shoulder, center, shoulder, center. This is a little bit of torso rotation. If you need to, yes, you can turn your knees and your toes in a little bit. All right, back in the center, we're going to inhale and exhale. Standing cat-cow, start gentle. We just want to wake up the spine a little bit and out. Good, in, out and hold it. We're going to roll it up one vertebrae at a time. We're going to start to take the shoulders up, back and down into our back pockets. 4, 3, 2. Let's add a reach across the body. Start to reach corner to corner. Good. 4, 3. Now we're going to reach the arms up overhead. So we're going to add in just a little bit of a side bend. Doesn't have to be a lot. You can even keep it here if you need to. Good. 4, 3. Legs are wide, side and side. So if you do cardio kickboxing, we do this at the end of class. Today we're going to do it at the beginning. Just waking up those hips. 4, 3. Good. Bring it back in the center. We're going to start to walk it in. Feet hip width apart. Squat it down and up. So hips back. Yes, your knees are going to move towards the toes. It's okay. Down 2, up 2, down 2, up 2. So you don't have to keep your knees perfectly over those shoelaces, but we want to sit our hips back, squat it down, one more, down, forward step and reach right here, forward step, bring it back. We're going to reach and pull, reach and pull. Yes, your arms can be a little bit low, but we want to work on getting them up a little bit. Backward step, open and close. Drop the knee down to the floor. Good. 4, 3, 2. We're going to march or we're going to power jog. Power march or jog. We can power jog too. That's okay. But power march or we can jog. 8, 7, 4, 3. Jumping jacks out and in. So high impact is here. We know our low impact is down here. Good. 4, 3, 2, heel jogs. Here we go, heel jogs. So I'm doing these pointing to the floor. You can do your hamstring curls if you prefer. 8, 7. I gotta get back on beat. 4, 3. Now we're gonna skate. Take it to the side, cross behind. Good, 8, 7, 4, 3, march it out, shake it out, roll those shoulders, grab a quick drink of water. It is Tuesday, so it is Tabatas. 20 seconds work, 10 seconds rest, 8 rounds, 2 exercises. We're just gonna alternate back and forth. Your first exercise, we are going to do one side. This is a squat, swing, press. And you're like, oh Lord, it's okay, I promise. So actually it's more of a swing, squat, and press. So you're gonna do a swing, bring it to your shoulder, squat, overhead press. Keep it up there, take it down, swing, shoulder, squat, and press. If you need to, then I'll show you a modification. All right, 20 seconds in 3, 2, and 1. So swing, bring it up, take it down, overhead. So option 1 is here, swing, overhead, down and up. Option 2, swing, shoulder, squat, overhead press, swing, shoulder, squat and press. Good, bring it up. Palms up, front raise. Palms up, front raise. That is very fast, 20 seconds, after yesterday especially. Palms up, front raise, and down. So watch your body position here, because we're gonna do a very similar exercise the next round. This one, notice my hands, shoulder width apart, palms facing up, right up in front, take it back down again. Rotating from the shoulders, bringing it up. Last one. All right, set it down. Going back for your squat, your swing, squat, press. Show you another option. Here we go. So swing, shoulders, down, up, down, and here. So you do what works for you. As long as you're kind of getting that motion, you're good. So we want to do a swing. We want to take something, squat it down, and then reach overhead. Good. Bring it up. Going for our palms up front raise. So that one has a lot of parts. So as long as you're moving, you're good, right? Here we go. Palms up front raise. Brace the core, shoulders down and back. And check your hand position. You may notice that your thumbs are kind of angled. We want to try to open up, pull the shoulders down and back, bring the arms up parallel to the floor. So show up, last one, your biceps, right at the top. All right, going back for our swing, squat, and press. So here we go. So we swing, shoulder, down, overhead, take it down again. So you have options. The hard part for me is I automatically want to go into a squat instead of a swing. That's just kind of what I want to do. So it's a little bit different. Good. All right, front raise, front raise, front raise. So try to think about using those hips for momentum. Here we go, shoulders down, core is braced, palms up. In our next circuit, we're going to do a standing chest fly. That's the one where you bring the arm across the body towards the other corner. So I want you to kind of try to feel the difference between these two exercises. Good, last one. All right. This is our last round for this exercise. Feet hip width, here we go. So it's a swing, shoulders, down and up. If you can, keep it here, arm down, swing, bring it up, and overhead. So this is one, don't feel you're doing it wrong if you're not doing it exactly like I am. As long as you're getting your swing, overhead, your squat, overhead. Good, bring it in. Last set, palms up, front raise. That's probably the most complicated thing we do all day. That's why we did it right at the start. So good front raise, brace your core. So a little tail feather tuck. So I'm not perfectly upright. I like to push my hips back a little. So brace the core, shoulders down and back in your back pocket. Use the muscles on the front of the shoulder to lift your arm. Last one. All right, bring it in. Grab a quick drink of water if you'd like. You're going to do the next circuit, curtsey lunge with an oblique crunch, right, left, and then we're going to do standing chest flies. So your curtsey lunge, curtsey, tap, oblique. We're gonna do all one side. 20 seconds, your time is on. So curtsey lunge, tap it, oblique crunch, elbow to knee. If you wanna make it harder, you just go straight into it without doing the tap. But if you need to tap it, I tap it out like I'm dancing. Curtsey, tap it out. My weight stays on this standing leg. Last one. All right, standing chest fly. So palms forward, diagonal lift, take it down. Diagonal. Torso is steady. We don't want to bring it straight across. It's kind of across at an angle out in front. So you're going to get a little shoulder, but hopefully you should feel good. Last one, a little bit of chest. Just a little bit of chest. So like you're trying to squeeze and pull that in. Here we go. Curtsey. Curtsey. Good. Oblique crunch. Curtsey. You can have it here and just bring it up. Think about taking your hand. You want to squish it between your hips and your ribs. Last one. Good. All right, bringing it in. Going for our standing chest fly. Shoulders down, palms forwards. Bring it across. Take it down. So elbows are soft. So in addition to doing that front raise, we're squeezing the shoulder in a little bit towards your sternum. So we're getting a little chest here. This is better if you've got bands. Last one, but it works. All right, curtsey lunge, oblique, on the other side. So here we go. So curtsey, tap it out, nice good crunch. Ribs are moving towards your hips. That's the most important thing. Even if the knee doesn't come up really high, squeeze right here. Good, this is our last one. Bring it up, standing chest fly. After this, we're gonna give our chest and our shoulders a little bit of a break. Here we go, cross it, bring it in. I personally prefer single arm like this. You can do both at the same time. I just notice I get more shoulders when I do that because I'm not able to go as far across my body, so it's more shoulders. I like getting chest. Good, bring it in. Going for our last circuit. Here we go, so good, curtsey. I shouldn't say last circuit, I should say last round in this circuit. Remember, make it a little bit harder, curtsey. Bring it up so you're powering through this front leg. A little more balance challenge. Good, bring it in. Chest flies, last set. After this, we're going for a little bit of glutes. Here we go, cross and in. So we're gonna do kickstand deadlifts and then rows. So core is tight, torso is centered, arm moves across, body stays in the middle. 2 and 1. Weights down, grab a quick drink. We're going to move on. Circuit number 3. We have kickstand deadlifts. So if you are having issues with your SI joint or your hips, you're gonna do deadlifts both feet flat on the floor. Otherwise, kickstand deadlift. Most of your weight, 80% in the front, 20 in the back. Shoulders down and back. Take it down, bring it up. 20 seconds, your time is on. I'm choosing to do dumbbell in one hand. You can hold it on the ends and hold it in both hands. posture is very tall, very stiff, just like we did the wood choppers or the good mornings right at the beginning of class for the warm-up. We want to feel this in our glutes. Back of the leg. 2 and 1. Good. Rows. I might be regretting my decision later in my choice of weights. Shoulders down and back. Push those hips back. Row it up right here. 20 seconds. We want to pull towards our hips. We don't want to pull up towards our rib cage. If you need to, alternate right, left, or you can do single-sided today. 4, 3, 2, 1. Going back for our kickstand deadlift. So 80% of the weight on the front leg, back leg is there for moral support. Here we go. Take it down. Bring it up. So if you have, again, if you're having issues with your hips or your pelvis being uneven or having any pain or discomfort, I want you to keep both feet flat on the floor as much as you can, especially if you're kind of having a flare-up. Last one. All right, bring it in. Going for our rows. Good. 3, 2, 1. Push the hips back. Row and row. So we want to keep our shoulders away from our ears. Squeeze the shoulder blade in towards the spine, pulling towards the pelvis, because we want to try to go for mid-back versus high in your back. So we're trying to get a little bit of lats here. 2, 1. All right, bring it up. Kickstand deadlift, switching sides. So 80%, 20% right here. Push the hip back nice and tall. So you are going to sit your hip back like you're touching your backside to the wall or like you're closing a door, and then we fold forwards to pick up our groceries. 2 and 1. Bringing it up for those rows. 3, 2, and 1. So good row, good row. This is definitely a little heavier than I'm used to, but I figure 20 seconds is okay, right? And I'm alternating, so I modify it to make it work. 3, 2, and 1. Last set. So plant that foot, back heel, just balancing on the ball of the foot, big toe. Push the hips back, soften your knees, bring it tall. With these, sometimes it's tempting to rotate one way or the other. We want to keep our shoulder pulled back, nice and tall. Front leg does 90% of the work. 2 and 1. Last set of rows. Picking my weight up at the last possible second. 2 and 1. So here we go. So nice, good pull. Bring it in. Brace that core, pull that belly in, protect that low back. Hinging forwards, but we don't want to arch or round. So if you're feeling discomfort, kind of tuck your tail just a little bit. See if that helps. You may find that it does because you tighten your core. Last one. Good, weights down. Grab a drink. We are halfway through. 3 circuits down, 3 circuits to go. This next set, if you have a mat or you feel comfortable with it, you're gonna elevate your heels for squats. If you can't or you don't want to, that's okay too. So I'm just gonna roll up a mat, and that's just gonna elevate my heels an inch or 2. Body weight or grab a weight, squat it down, bring it back up. 20 seconds, your time is on. So you don't have to do the heels elevated, but for some of you, you may find you can go deeper into your squat with your heels up, because that means you probably have a little bit of limited mobility in your ankles. So that lets you know you need to work on your ankles. Last one. Good, bring it up. Thumbs up, rear delt. Thumbs up, rear delt. Body weight or light to medium dumbbells. Forward fold, thumbs up. Lift, and down. Lift and down. So palms are facing forwards. Lead with your thumbs. For this one, we're trying not to squeeze the shoulder blades together at the top. You can, but we want to get those little muscles. Good, last one. Little muscles on the back of the shoulder to do the work. All right. Heels elevated squat. Time is on. So nice and tall. Take it down, bring it up. You may notice too, if you're doing the heels elevated, that you can keep your body upright, a little bit taller, core braced. It's a nice one to practice. You're gonna get a little more quads here. Last one. Good, rear delts. So it's gonna be just a little bit more quads, a little bit less back of the legs. 2 and 1, shoulders down, core braced. Lift, take it down. Ten seconds to go. Deep rest. If you have a band, you can do a band pull apart, and you can do that palms up. 2 and 1. Good, bring it in. A band pull apart is gonna feel a lot better, especially if you're feeling pain and pressure in your low back. Here we go, squat it down. So drop and up. And if you're struggling today and you're like, I just can't do squats, it's okay. Chair stance, can you sit down and stand up? Very functional. That's why we do squats pretty much every workout. Good. Thumbs up, rear delts. Just gonna grab my band and I don't even know where it is. Good, shoulders down and back, thumbs up. Here we go, brace that core. So a lot of times what tends to happen that we don't realize, as you can see, I'm arching my back right here. Little tuck, just a little tuck, doesn't have to be a lot. Pull the belly button in and then point the tail feather towards the floor if you were standing. Last one. All right, this is our last set in this circuit. Here we go, tuck the tail, brace the core, squat it down, bring it in. I'm liking this one. We're getting a lot of back of the body today. So we're definitely going to be doing some child's pose stretching today when we get to the end of class. 3, 2, and 1. All right, thumbs up, rear delt. Last set standing, then we get to hang out on the floor. Shoulders down. Here we go. Lift and lower. So we want to try not to be too upright. Then we're going to wind up getting middle shoulder. We need this forward fold. If you have to be more upright, you're going to go up and back instead of just up. Good. Bring it in. Shake it out. Grab a quick drink of water. We are heading down to the floor. We are going to do prone kickback. So we're going to do bird dog or half kneeling kickback. And then we're going to do some kneeling bicep curls. So you can roll out your mat or you can roll it up so you can kneel on it comfortably. Well, we're going to do prone kickbacks. You can stay upright and just do tricep kickbacks and just do standing bicep curls. Last 2 exercises are going to be bridges and reverse crunches. So nothing fancy. All right, so we're gonna bring it down. Hands and knees, bird dog position. So option 1 is just a good hands and knees position. Option 2, your opposite leg is going to extend, barely touching the toe down. Option 3, you're gonna lift. Palm is in, elbow up, kick it back, bring it in. 20 seconds, your time is on. Now if you need to, half kneeling stance right here. So if your wrists are bothering you, you're right here. Resting your forearm on your thigh, good position. You can stay standing and you can just do a standing tricep kickback, that's fine. 3, 2, and 1. All right, kneeling bicep curls, which means tuck your tail, squeeze your glutes, kneel, bicep curl, bring it up and down. Your time is on. So we're tucking the tail, squeezing the glutes. Good curl. So when we do our curls, we don't want to have our elbows way back behind us. So they want to be under the shoulders, maybe just a little bit forwards, but we don't want to lift them so much, last one, that our elbow pops way high. Good. All right. Tricep kickback. Find your position. Here we go. So if you're in a prone position, try to get your upper arm parallel with your torso. And when you extend your arm back, the elbow stays high. You're trying to get your hand level with your elbow. It's a good squeeze. 3, 2, and 1. Bringing it in. Going for our kneeling bicep curls, which means tuck the tail, squeeze the glutes, palms forward if you can, shoulders down right here. Your elbows do not have to be glued to your side. When you have your arms hanging down, you'll notice that they hang an inch or two away from your side. We just want to challenge our balance a little bit differently here. 3, 2, and 1. Taking it down, triceps, kick it back. I'm switching sides here. So good position. Here we go, kick it back and lift. So we don't want to turn our torso. We want to keep our shoulders parallel to the floor. So we're getting core here in addition to our arms. And if you're doing a leg lift, a little more core, a little bit of glutes. 2 and 1. Bring it in the center. Going for our bicep curls. So, little tail feather tuck, squeeze the glutes. Bringing it up, bicep curls. I switched palms in. I'm going for a hammer curl position. So it's okay to change it up every now and again. And we have a position that's going to be comfortable. That may mean that you need to try the other ones with a lighter weight. Good, bring it down. Going for our wonderful tricep kickback. Hands and knees position if you can, right here. Kick it back and in. So neutral spine. Again, we don't want to round our spine. We want to open, lengthen, head and heel. Get as far away from each other as you can. Last one. Good, bring it in. Bicep curls, last time. So we don't want our hips sagging up, a little bit of a tuck, squeeze it. Time is on, good curl. So you can do a flip grip, a flip curl. So I do palms in to palms up, all the way down, and a palms up, palms in, and down. Good, bring it down, weights down. Grab a drink if you need it. We are going to be on the floor, on our backs. We're going to do bridges and reverse crunches. Bridges and reverse crunches. If you want to add resistance to your bridges, you can. Put a weight in the crease of your hips. I am going to actually grab a medicine ball. If you have a pillow, a silver sneakers ball, medicine ball, yoga block, something to put between your thighs, you can get a little inner thigh work. Otherwise, we're just going to do a knees squeezed together bridge. Feet together, knees together, all the way down on your back. Knees bent, feet flat, bridge in 3, 2, 1. So tuck your tail, lift. I'm going to lift and hold for at least a couple of rounds. I'm focusing on a little inner thigh squeeze here. So you can do the same. So even if you don't have a yoga ball or anything like that, I want you to have feet together, knees together, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. 2, 1, good. All the way down. Reverse crunch. Option 1 is your pelvic tuck. Option 2 is bring the knees in and do your tuck here. So your time is on. So if you want to keep it more stable, we're doing a pelvic tuck. So we're not doing a bridge. Glutes are relaxed. Tuck. Pull the low back into the floor and then release. Good. All right, short rest. When you're ready, bring it up. Oh, we're going for a bridge. So squeeze the knees, squeeze the feet, tuck the tail. Here we go. We lift. Things we want to watch out for. Sometimes we lift and we don't lift our torso off of the ground. We want to lift as one piece, open the hips, squeeze the glutes. So nice, good squeeze. Squeeze the inner thighs together. 2 and 1. Bring it down. Going for our reverse crunch. Reverse crunch. All right, time is on, so you can start with just your pelvic tuck, relaxed glutes, or bring it in. We want to think about feet to the ceiling versus trying to bring them overhead. So feet to ceiling. I'm doing a little bit more knees to chest, last one, because I'm holding this yoga ball between my thighs. All right, back to our bridge. This time, if you want to lift and lower, go for it. Lift and lower, or you can keep doing your lift and hold. So a lift and hold is going to work on good stability and isometric strength, so we need to be able to hold our muscles in that position when we stand, things like that. So this is good. Last one, a little bit more for things like sitting, standing, squatting. All right, reverse crunch. 3, 2, 1. Good. So tuck and down. Think about using your abs to gently rock your legs up, rock the hips up. It's okay if your hips don't come up very high. They don't have to. As long as you're getting a good crunch and you're keeping that low back close to the floor, especially when you tap the toes down. Good, feet down. Squeeze the thighs together, squeeze the feet together, inner thighs. Bridge, tuck and squeeze. Here we go. Lift and lower, or lift and hold. And if you're doing lift and lower, barely touch your backside to the floor, lift right back up again. So trying to keep time under tension. 3, 2, and 1. All right, reverse crunch. Last time. 3, 2, and 1. So good reverse crunch. And I should say, if you don't want to do a reverse crunch, even the low version, you can always hold a dead bug. You're going to get similar motions. You're going to get more stability than mobility, and that's okay. Good crunch, good tuck. All right, bring it down. Short rest. You can go into Shavasana if you would like. Just resting on your backs. I am coming up to seated just because I need to move dumbbells out of the way before we start doing our mobility and our stretching. So if you have the same issue, give yourself a moment, clear your space so that we don't accidentally run into anything. And then we're going to take it all the way down onto our backs. You can still do this in a seated position. You're going to take one leg straight. So right leg straight. We're going to pull the left knee into the chest. I want you to try to get your right heel and your left knee as far apart as you can, which means you're pushing your heel towards the wall while you're gently pulling your knee in. And it's towards your chest, but it's also, can you pull it towards the wall over your head? So we're not just pulling it in, we're also pulling it forwards. It's just something kind of different to think about. Good. That left leg, we're going to release it a little. We're going to bring that left knee across the body over to the right side. And we're going to take our left arm and we're going to reach it out. If we can do a letter T, or maybe we can take it a little bit higher into a letter Y. But we want to try to get left knee towards the floor, left shoulder towards the floor on the opposite side. Little hip stretch, little chest and torso stretch. Good. Release, bring it in, switching sides. Left leg extends, toe pointing to the ceiling. Right knee pulls into the chest, and I want you to push that left heel towards the wall. And then you're going to pull the right knee in and forwards towards the wall that's actually over your head. All right, let's release that right knee. We're gonna lift it up a little, and we're gonna pull it across the body. And we're gonna take that right arm and we're gonna see, can we reach it out to a nice good letter T? So you should be feeling a little stretch in your hip, in your torso, and then in your chest. And again, letter T, or if you can, take it up at an angle for a letter Y. Release, bring it into the center. We're gonna pull both knees into the chest, and I want you to start keeping your shoulders and your pelvis on the floor. And then as you feel comfortable, you're gonna take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, I want you to kind of curl yourself up, chin towards your knees. Release, inhale when you go down, exhale on the way up. Little tuck. One more time, inhale, shoulders and hips on the floor. Exhale, tuck, chin towards the knees. And release. We're going to take it over onto our side, and then we're going to push ourselves up to a seated position. Take our legs out for our 90-90, shoulders down, hands on the floor. We're just gonna go in and out, in and out. So this is one, and I notice when I don't have my hands on the floor that I do tend to kind of turn a little bit more. So I'm keeping my hands on the floor today so that I can really work on trying to get my hips and my thighs to do the movement versus letting my pelvis rotate as well. And I feel a deeper stretch here. Here's 2 and 1. We're gonna take the left leg, cross it under the right, coming over to a hands and knees position. We're going to do nice good cat-cow. So inhale and exhale. If you have osteoporosis in your spine, you can always just hold a neutral position. Inhale and exhale. And focus on breathing drills. Last time, inhale, exhale. Find somewhere in the middle, sit the hips back to the heels, walk your hands out, lower your forehead towards the floor. Your hips are getting pulled one way while your hands are trying to pull your shoulders the other. And we're gonna rock side to side and try to get a little bit of a stretch under the armpits. So under your arms, trying to lower that to the floor. Good, hold it in the center, right hand into the small of the back. We're going to open that shoulder towards the ceiling, dropping your opposite shoulder towards the floor. Release, bring it in, switching sides, hand into the small of the back. You're gonna open that shoulder towards the ceiling, dropping your other shoulder towards the floor. Good, release, hands out. We're gonna tuck our chin, we're gonna do our wave. So tuck your chin, round your spine, roll your way through to a plank, and if you're comfortable, drop your hips towards the floor. Good, take it back, hips to heels. You can do the tuck and the wave, or you can just pull yourself forward, neutral spine, into a plank, and then option to lower the hips towards the floor. We're still protecting our low back, thighs and hips to the floor. Good, bring it back. Right foot to right hand. This time we're just gonna hold our stretch. We're just gonna hold our runner's lunge stretch. If you want to do your elbow to floor and your torso to the ceiling, you can. That is up to you. I'm going to, because I'm definitely tight from class yesterday and then from cleaning. Good, switching sides. So left foot to left hand, and again, option 1, just hold your stretch. This is a good one to notice where you feel it. Do you feel it in the hip? Do you feel it in your back? Maybe your inner thigh on that front leg. If you want to add your rotations, you can. This is optional. To me, they call this the world's greatest stretch, and I completely understand why. It is wonderful. All right, let's sit it back. We're gonna come to a kneeling stance. If you need to come to seated or standing, that's fine. We're just going to take our hands, one hand reaches back for the other, squeeze the shoulder blades together. We're squeezing our glutes, keeping our tail tucked. Release. We're going to bring the hands up. We're going to open them out to the side, and we're going to gently press, press, and press. So this is gentle. We don't want to feel sharp shooting pain, and we don't want to let our hands be forwards. You know, it's kind of hard to see. Straighten them out. Good squeeze. Bring the hands down. I want you to press your hands down and kind of lift them up like you're pressing on a table. Keep that lift, and we're going to try to do shoulder rolls, going one direction, and my left shoulder is crunchy, and then we're going to try to go the other direction. So it's not crunchy going forwards, but it's crunchy going backwards. Good. Bring it in, palms facing in, hands to shoulders, walk it back. So that lets me know I need to work on some stuff on the back side of my shoulder, which does not surprise me. This is the one that's really mad at me today. Good. Bring it down, shoulders down and back, ear to shoulder, side to side. Bring the head up, pull the chin back slightly, look to the right, look to the left. Good, here's 2, 1, bring it in the center, big breath in, spread your fingers. Exhale, thumb to index, middle, ring, and pinky. One more time, big breath in. And out, and you are all done.